So I had an opportunity to come across some new anchor chain. I had 200 feet of 5/16 G4 galvanized chain, and after about a year of use in the Bahamas last year, the galvanizing had really worn off about the first 50 feet, which is mostly really all I use is the first 50 feet. So fortune smiled upon me, and I came across another hank of about 200 feet of chain, and it was in much better shape than mine, so I changed it out. But when I went to change out the anchor swivel, on this end, this pin was deformed. It had actually bent, and where the link was riding on the inside here, this inside edge, it had worn it away fairly well. So I thought, well, damn, let me call the company and see if perhaps it was possible to source another one of these pins. And they're not just your normal standard pin. So, and this, by the way, this is a Anchorlift made in Norway. On one side it says it has a max of 5,000 kilograms or 12,500 pounds. It's made out of 3/16 stainless steel. I really like this swivel. It's worked very well for me. But I called the company, and the gentleman I spoke to there said that each one of these were handmade. For each one, they didn't have spare pins, and you can kind of see that here on this side. They are just like a little square thing. They're ground. Each one's probably ground to fit, and I believe what he's saying. But he was quite the salesman, and at first he offered to send me one in the warehouse they had. I guess the swivel part didn't work very well, and I could probably salvage the pins out of it, and he was willing to sell that for like 30 bucks. And then he changed his mind about that apparently, and I don't know, he ended up offering me a new one at 50% off, which they're like 70 something dollars, about 75 bucks new retail. He offered me half off, plus I ended up having to pay sales tax and shipping. And for $53.50, I ended up getting sent a brand new one. Now, I thought that would have been the end of it, but I'm the kind of guy who I fix most everything. So I took this home, got the pin out, straightened the pin, welded some 3/16ths back on it, and I mean, it's damn near as good as new. I'm more than happy to put this back on. What do I do with my $53.50? Although this one has apparently a 5-year warranty, which I don't know what they warranty. But anyway, I noticed apparently, talking to the guy, the company had been sold in 2012, I believe he said it was, and now they don't even sell retail. They try to direct marketing through the internet, and it sounds to me like it's changed quite a bit. And when I looked online at the pictures, it looks like they've even changed the design of the swivel. So I don't know. I don't know what's in this box. And my first inclination was to just put this on, save this as a spare. And then I was thinking, well, 5-year warranty just taken away. I don't know. Maybe put this one on and save the other one as a spare. So interesting way of packaging all this for just this. And let's see what we got here in the box. And from the pictures, it is definitely different. Now, supposedly there's something about a bronze thing in here. I don't know. Well, you know, from the pictures, I was thinking this was not going to be an improvement. But I think maybe it is. It looks like it's got a little bit more substantial meat on the ears. I didn't get a profile of it when when this profile, when I looked at it on the internet, I did see this, and I was thinking it looked like there was less meat at the top where it might pull out, but there's definitely more material there. And on this side, same thing again. Now I will say this, not too hip on these sharp edges here. That's not cool in my opinion. It should be rounded over like that. This is something that could probably get caught or hung up on the anchor. Don't know why they did this from an engineering standpoint. It doesn't seem like a very good idea to me. And this one is also rated for, it says max 5,000 kilograms and max pounds 11,000 pounds. So I don't know, but I am really tempted, as nice and shiny and new as this is, I'm really tempted to go at this thing with a grinder and round these corners over. Yeah, probably would void the warranty, but why on earth they would put these sharp edges is beyond me, because that's something that could certainly snag or hang up on the loop in the anchor shank. But I don't know, looking at this, maybe I will put this one on and say this is a spare. But definitely like this rounded over as opposed to this square deal here. I'll have to put it on the anchor and see. But yeah, feels quality. I don't have a scale. They weigh similar. But anyway, Anchorlift swivel. Was really happy with this one. It served me well. And there's people who run anchor chain without swivels, and I think it's just the stupidest thing, because invariably the chain's going to twist, and running that thing back up through your windlass, it's just going to give you nothing but problems. So do yourself a favor, buy yourself an anchor swivel. Your ground tackle will thank you. So anyway, maybe we'll continue this, try it out, put it on the anchor, and see how that goes. Maybe continue this video a little bit. But I thought I would just share my experience with this new Anchorlift anchor connector. It's technically it's an anchor swivel, but yeah, not too bad. Thought I would show a little bit more about this. Yeah, this new one's actually still made in Norway. It doesn't say Norway, but it's got the Norwegian flag there, and Norwegian flag there on the box. So I'm assuming it's still made in Norway. Although this is so small, even with my glasses on, I can't read what the heck it says. I know my other one, being a European product, was metric, so I'm assuming this one is as well. Thought I would open this up. Something to be mindful of when you install these, you definitely want to put some Loctite on these. That's a little bit more substantial screw than the other one. You can see how these things are machined. I mean, it's really an interesting way they do that. Very, very fine. I mean, quality work went into building this thing. I should say quality craftsmanship. Oh, that's interesting. On this one, it's like rounded, so it's easy to tell kind of which way it goes. It can go back in. This one's flat all the way around, and yeah, it definitely only wants to fit one way, and it's probably the way they fit it and when they ground it. So if you shouldn't force it in. Yeah. So that's that pin on that side. It's the same size Allen key for both pins. yeah, again, a little bit more substantial screw. And yeah, same thing. I see what the guy's saying about how they're individually made. I mean, if you got another one, you could fit it. It wouldn't be perfect, but you can see it doesn't want to quite go in. You have to get it turned just the right way for it to drop in there. So, yeah. Let me see if I can get this one out. Compare the two. So far, really, the only thing I'm not liking with the new one is those sharp edges. Like I said, here's a difference in the screws. This is the old model, new model. A little longer shank, a little bigger heads, and yeah, I don't know. It looks like it's close to the same amount of material on the top. I mean, there's definitely more material on the sides of the ends here on the old style. But when you turn it sideways, you can see there's definitely way more meat material on this new style one than the old style. So it's probably like a little bit of a trade-off there. The shear force is, I guess, theoretically the same. Although this one was marked 12,500 pounds, 5,000 kilograms, and I haven't done the conversion, but Anchorlift tells me that these were incorrectly marked originally. This one's 5,000 pounds, 5,000 kilograms, 11,000 pounds. So, yeah. Other than these sharp edges, which bench grinder or 4-inch angle grinder would alleviate that mighty quick. Not a whole lot of difference, and it's certainly these edges are sharp compared to these are a little bit more broken over, rounded over. Yeah, I don't know. I'll put it on like this and just see if it seems like it's going to hang up on the opening on the anchor shank, and we'll go from there. This looped opening here in the shank to attach the swivel to. That's kind of what I'm a little bit concerned about, is those sharp edges getting caught on that loop. So unfortunately, I don't see any way that I'm going to be able. Maybe. Oh gosh, this is where I'll probably end up losing my camera in the water. Things are right on the edge of the boat. Be super careful here. I'm still here in Coconut Grove. You can hear the plane in the background. So, this the pin. Yeah, I'll kind of show you here what I'm concerned about. Put this in so I don't lose it. If I can zoom in, I think that's always zoomed in. But see, like that edge there, how it could get caught under that lip. See how it's getting caught there? That's my concern. So if it was rounded over, it's less likely, I think, to bind up on that, especially when because it's going to be down this position. Yeah, maybe I'm overthinking it. I suppose I can try it that way, and if it isn't to my liking later, I can always go at it with the grinder. So we're going to go ahead and put it on. I've got some blue Loctite here. Use the blue, so red's permanent, blue's removable. Got that shook up. We'll put some blue on there. Yeah, that's plenty. plenty. Last thing you want is your screw coming out. And yeah, that seems awful thin. I have had one of these screws start to back out on me. I think it was when I first put this on, the old one on. I noticed one backing out a little bit. But since I started putting Loctite on, not a problem. Like that so much. Yeah, it's that Allen key is not cut very deep, and that feels super good. Actually, that looks like it twisted out. Looks like it wrung. Looks like it wrung that frickin' thing out. Wow, that's crappy as fuck. Excuse me. That's really crappy. Doesn't really look like they cut those heads very deep. That's going to be a problem. Big problem. Not cool. Not cool, man. That damn Loctite seems awful thin. I got a good purchase on that one, but this other one, not so much. It's I have a feeling I'm gonna be calling the company again, because yeah, that's not right. There's not enough purchase on that Allen head screw thing there, that Allen recess. There's not enough purchase on that to even tighten that down properly. Very uncool. You know, one step forward, two steps back, it always seems like. Oh well, what am I gonna do? Yeah. So earlier today I installed that new anchor swivel that I got in yesterday, and I had some concerns about the Allen screws, the depth of the screws themselves, how they were in relation to being able to tighten the screws down and stripping out, being able to get this thing back apart again in the future. So anyway, I had installed this new anchor swivel. As you guys might have remembered, and I reached out to the company about it, my concerns about it earlier today, and sent them. Well, I first called them on the phone, and then they asked me if I could send some pictures, which I did, and I got back a response basically telling me that oh, it'll be okay, I won't have any problems, I shouldn't worry about it. Well, You know, to your average consumer, that shit might have worked, but I'm not your average consumer. Like I said, I've fabricated, I've built stuff, I've been wrenching almost as long as I've been walking. And, you know, don't try to feed me a bunch of, you know, BS. That just sits even worse with me. So, anyway, I sent him a picture about it again, and I fired off another email telling them that basically, you know, their response was unacceptable, and that if they couldn't resolve the issue, that I would just as soon remove the swivel and send it back. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that after this thing's been in the salt water, had some use, if I need to take this back out, I'm not getting it back out without either having to destroy it or weld something on there to get some purchase on it to break that free. Just not going to happen. So that being said, I sent a response to them, you know, trying to work it out. I can't say that I'm hopeful or not hopeful, but in the meantime, I'm going to put the old one that I repaired back in service, because I know I can get this one on and off. I'm confident in that. This pin's still a little tough to get in and out, but it's not too bad. But this one, no. And what's going to add insult to injury too is if I send this back, it costs me $10 shipping to get it to me, and I'm sure they're going to probably try to screw me around on that. And that's not going to make me too happy, even an unhappier customer. So while I did like this product and do like this product, this one's got some issues. And in dealing with the company, I can't really say my experience so far has been all that great, because this is supposed to have a 5-year warranty on it. Okay, the pin bent, it wore. I don't know what the 5-year warranty is supposed to cover, but I haven't had this thing one day, already have an issue, and their opinion is, oh no, it's not a problem, not going to be a problem. And again, I know better. Don't lie to me. So it should definitely have the anchor tied off. I'm gonna try to yeah. You know, I think what really happened is when they did the grind on the side of this, they just ground it too far. And my guess is they probably have a big batch of these screws heads already pre-made up, and then when they grind the side here, it grinds the face of this. I don't have my glasses on, I don't even have them out here. This doesn't really look to me like it's been ground. It's pretty shiny, but that head's pretty thin. The diameter of that screw isn't all that big, and this is supposed to be a 4mm metric Allen key, which the guy I spoke to told me it was supposed to have been included in the box, an Allen key and some Loctite, which I did not get. Use my own. I have a good set of. I mean, these are Craftsman. Right here, yeah. Craftsman set. I mean, it's a pretty decent set. It's not super used, but it's not, the end's not worn. But yeah, this is, I don't know if you can see that. There's not a lot of purchase on that. I mean, I wrote to them, I said it was probably like a 1/16 of an inch. Looking at it, it's probably like, I don't know, 330 seconds, maybe. It's just a little more than a 1/16 and definitely less than an 1/8. And that's not a lot when you're tightening something down or trying to break it loose, which is unfortunate. I don't know. I mean,
I wish I had a caliper, a better way to show that. How much is really... I don't know if that's really showing up. How much really there is exposed there. It's not much. So I think the smart thing to do is to take it off, see what the company says, and go from there, which is, I don't know, it's unfortunate if you ask me, and I'm a little bit disappointed in the fact that here I have a brand new part, that one of the reasons why I bought a new one instead of repairing the old one initially was I didn't want to have, you know, concerns. I mean, shit, you got a $70 swivel here keeping your, you know, $100,000 boat in place. I mean, it seems to me like it's good insurance to, or I should say, it's a vital piece of equipment. So anyway, yeah, and the Loctite I used, I gotta say, wasn't very good. I did notice that when I assembled this initially, that Loctite seemed awful thin to me, and I actually have some other Loctite I'm going to use instead, but I don't know. I think they grind it, and then they polish it. And what happens is when they ground this down, they just put a little bit, maybe too heavy of a grind on it, and I'm sure this is formed. This Allen recess is formed before they grind it. Now, one thing the guy told me, they went away from this rounded head style because, I don't know, he claimed that they had issues, or had issues, where rocks had caught on this head and sheared it off. And I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna say it's not possible, but certainly highly improbable. There we go. So yeah, I have the old one here. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on so that I'm not stuck here without use of an anchor. Tap that right back in. I don't know, maybe I can move the camera back. Like, my camera is on a little mini tripod right on the side here, and I just know one little misstep and this thing's gonna go in the drink. So here we go. I got a little Harbor Freight blue thread sealer, thread locker. Go ahead and put that on. Yeah, see, I like that better. And so I don't know what's gonna happen, but kind of where I'm at right now, or the way I'm feeling as a consumer, I'm not happy with the product, the new product, and certainly it's going to, I don't know, whoa, it's going to negatively impact how I would probably think about dealing with them again in the future. You know, I've written a lot of product reviews on Amazon, and I haven't done a lot of videos for products. Really just because, I don't know, I'm a better writer than I think than I'm a videographer. And you know, editing is not my thing. But I do like doing reviews for products. I mean, I think it's the reason I got started writing reviews was because I kind of felt like it was a way to give back to the community of reviewers. I mean, I got to the point where anytime I would go to buy or research a product, where did I go? It was like I went to Amazon and started reading reviews on Amazon. So that's why I started contributing, and there was a time when I was in, I think, the top 1,500 reviewers. I got invited to the Amazon Vine thing, which before I knew what it was, I deleted it. That was a big mistake. I came to later find out, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm not. I can't say I see any clear benefits to the new one. Again, I'm not a big fan of these sharp edges. There's sharp edges here as well. I think they could have finished it off a little bit nicer. There's no reason for this to be sharp. It almost makes it like a guillotine against the anchor if something were to get caught in there. I don't know, maybe that's their idea. But on the end here, I mean, I just saw these edges is getting caught on the oval here of the shank of the anchor, and I didn't really like that. And I even thought about rounding that over like this. It's just smoother, you know. I mean, this thing going over my roller, I could see it, you know, this sharp edge kind of tearing up my roller up here up front. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for an anchor swivel, I mean, I love the rating of these. You know, 11,000 pounds. You know, it kind of gives you pretty good I forget what the rating of 5/16 G4 is off the top of my head. I want to say it's around 6,000 or 9,000. Maybe that's the working load. I don't recall, but I always was concerned, like, these swivels are like the weak link, and they seem to be pretty robust. Now, again, I don't know what has to do with the company being sold and bought out by another company, but I have noticed that when I was looking online, Lumar sells a swivel that looks very much like this old style. But one of the things I noticed is their screw heads are Phillips, and yeah, that's just, in my opinion, again, not a good design. Phillips said, you know, you're just asking after use, if you want to take it apart, you're just asking for trouble, unless you use like a hand impact driver to break it loose. And maybe that's the way these companies are designing these things. They think that people are just going to put them on one time and be done, but that's not the case, especially in the Caribbean, you know, where we end over our chains. There was a time when you could get chain regalvanized, and I haven't been able to find anybody who does it anymore. So, you know, last year my chain only lasted a year cruising last year, the first 50 feet, and it was like completely rust, and the chain was still in good shape, but you know, I mean, you can see the bow up here, it's still a little bit rusty. I've tried to clean it off a few times, but you know, it's pretty unsightly and nasty. And certainly I used to keep a big rag in here. When I let the anchor out, I take it off the windlass, and I would just let the chain run through my hand, and my hands would be filthy rusty, and I have to go wash my hands every time I went to set the anchor. Even up on my I don't know if you can see up here, hell, I've even got probably handprints, rusty handprints from holding on to the forestay on the sail there, the sail cover. So yeah, I'll see how this goes, give it another day or so. I have a feeling I may be sending this back and being an unhappy customer. I I would almost say no harm, no foul if it didn't cost me anything, but I know at the very minimum it's going to cost me $10 and then probably shipping to send it back for a $53 item. I don't know. And the only reason they sold me this thing at a discounted price, and I do appreciate that, is because I was a returning customer. I mean, I already had one. I was just replacing one. But I believe in either getting the same quality or better. I don't believe in going backwards, and I have, in my mechanical engineering experience, I think this is a step backwards for two reasons. First and foremost, is the depth of these Allen screws, and unless I didn't bring this point up, but unless the engineers have some reason for leaving this edge so sharp and square, yeah, no, this needs to be rounded over. And like I said earlier when I was shooting earlier today, I considered grinding this and rounding it over myself, because it's just it's just so sharp. It's just going to tear up your roller, and it's not going to do even the galvanizing on your anchor any favors either. So, yeah. Anchorlift, swivel. I want to give it a think twice. Alrighty there. Well, it's been almost 3 weeks since I shot that video. I had some back and forth correspondence with Anchorlift via email. I received an email from them on May 31st, and today is June 12th, 2019, and I have not heard from them since. That was the last email I received from them, and basically they are telling me that this is not an error in the manufacturing, it is an error with installation, it is not covered under any warranty. I can purchase a new swivel, sent me a link there, and their warranty is explained here. And I did look at the warranty, and boy, I can pretty much wipe my butt with that. So my concerns about modifying this and voiding the warranty were definitely founded, that it would be the case. And I can certainly tell you that this was not an installation error. They suggested that I use the incorrect size wrench, which I did not. I used the correct 4mm Allen wrench for this. I even went as far as to send them a picture of the vernier caliper measurement I used to show the depth of the Allen recess here, which was 0.062 inches, and I mean, I suffer from 40itis. My eyes aren't what they once were, but that is 0.0625 is 1/16 of an inch. So I was actually correct in my initial assessment that this was pretty close to a 1/16 of an inch deep, and that is just not deep enough to get good purchase on. And I would say this is a problem in the manufacturing. They just, when they grind this edge, this profile, to grind these things flat, they just put too heavy of a grind on this side, and that just is going to remove material and make this recess much more shallow. So, you know, I mean, there's just no arguing with people, and I wasn't even arguing. I was just stating that, you know, that in my experience what the problem was, and they weren't hearing any of it, and trying to get out of any kind of accepting any kind of responsibility for it. So basically, I'm stuck with this thing. I can't even send it back to them, which I don't know. I mean, I did like the idea of having a spare something other, and this one will work. There's certainly nothing wrong with it. The problem is that I've always been afraid of from the beginning is that if I put it into service and it spends any time in the water, I'm not going to get it apart easily, if at all. So my thoughts are probably try to source 2 new cap screws or 2 bolts here. See if I can find something. I have no problem. I have a metal lathe at home. I can certainly machine these down. I was even thinking of maybe how I could improve it over Allen. Maybe go with Torx. I don't know.
But I know the problem I'm going to run into is finding good quality 3/16 stainless hardware with a head on it as large as what these are to fit in here that I can machine down. So yeah, the takeaway from this is, I think, and even speaking from one of the other guys there at Anchorlift, he said some of these, when he looked at them in the warehouse, you know, some were deep, some were not. So I would say it's kind of a pig in a poke kind of thing. You may get one that's okay, and chances are you may get one that's not. So I still do really kind of like the product, short of the changes in manufacturing here, and seeing as how this one is no longer can be covered under warranty. I'm thinking I'm just gonna go ahead and grind this sucker down like I wanted to begin with, profile it, and make it better. But can I recommend the product? Can I recommend the company? You know, they not only, I mean, look, I'm grateful that they tried to help me out, and as a returning customer sent me one at half off, although mine was still under a 5-year warranty. It was only 3 years old. I should have warranted the pin to begin with, but that 5-year warranty thing, I don't think with this company they're going to ever honor their warranty. I really don't. They're going to probably try to sell you one at a reduced cost and make you feel like they're doing you a favor by doing so. So because of the warranty, and I would say at this point because of the customer service, where they no longer even responded to my emails when I sent them pictures of actual depth of the vernier caliper, they didn't even reply to that, and they have not replied to any of my correspondence since that time. It's been 2 weeks. I would honestly think twice about dealing with Anchorlift, and yeah, that's my takeaway from this. Buyer beware. You get, maybe you get a good one, maybe you won't. And if you're going to just put this on one time and forget about it, it's probably not going to be an issue for you. But I can tell you that when I was tightening this down, I did not get a good purchase on it where I felt like I was sufficiently getting it tightened before it was actually trying to round itself out. It never did fully round out, but I could feel that it was mauling the edges of the head there, of the insert, and it wasn't tight to my satisfaction. And even with the Loctite, it still wasn't tight to my satisfaction. So yeah. All right, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you around.